Welcome to the Brooklyn Bros podcast. Your host, Anthony. To the left of me,
Isaiah.
to the right of me,
D-Row, you already know.
and today we got a special guest. He was previously behind the camera on episode 2. You heard him sneezing, but he's here on the camera.
Got my boy Sean, which is me, spoken in third person.
Alright, but we're here to, bring you already the sports news, and we're here to talk about mostly the Knicks trade that just went off. Dario, would you like to present the trade?
Sure. Yes, I will present the trade. So the trade is Julius Randle for Karl-Anthony Towns. And the details of the trade is the Minnesota Timberwolves get Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, Bates Diop, future first-round pick from the Knicks via the Pistons, and the Charlotte Bobcats. Oh, I'm sorry, the Hornets. Sorry, I'm still in like 2010 and shit. But yeah, so the Charlotte Hornets are getting 2 second-round picks, Daquan Jeffries, Charlie Brown, and Dwayne Washington Jr. from the Knicks. And the Knicks get Karl-Anthony Towns in the draft rights to James Notch. And yeah, that's the trade.
All right, guys. So we're basically going to talk about what this does for the Knicks, what this does for the Timberwolves, and does it move the needle for either one of the teams. I like to start off with I think the Knicks got better. They figured out their whole center situation. They figured out the minutes between, like, is Julius Randle going to play? Is OG going to play? Is Josh Hart going to play? DiVincenzo going to play? Supposedly DiVincenzo already came out and said that he was not with it to come off the bench and lose all the minutes that he felt he worked for. So I think the Knicks got better in terms of a team, but do I think they got better than the other teams that were already ahead of them in the Celtics and 76ers, in my opinion? I don't think they did. Anyone else?
All right, so since I'm the special guest, I'm going to set it off. Special guest and the executive producer. Why not spring it to me first, right? The Knicks just changed the landscape of the NBA. They're going to be for the next 5 years, you could pencil them in for a top 4 seed every single season, at least for the next 4 years, bare minimum, right?
They got to extend Karl-Anthony Towns.
Karl-Anthony Towns is already coming. They got $220 million paid to him. I think he's already locked up on his contract. That's why they had to make the money match with the other teams. But you look at him, I think they just have to lock up Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges is not signing his extension until next year because he can only sign for 2 years right now.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, if he waits, he can sign for at least 4 years to get more guaranteed money, right? Okay. So that makes the most obvious sense. So you look at their starting five. It hasn't been announced yet, but I will believe that it's going to be Karl-Anthony Towns, obviously at center. You're going to have OG Anunoby. You're going to have Josh Hart. You're going to have Mikal Bridges. And you're obviously going to have Jalen Brunson, right? With that top five starting for the New York Knicks, playing in the Eastern Conference, if anything less than the number 4 seed is a complete disappointment. We talk about things from the Minnesota side. Minnesota, they weren't really utilizing Cat to his best strengths. They already had a center there anyway. So, true center, Rudy Gobert, multiple times defensive player of the year. So, they're not really going to be losing too much there. But, Julius Randle is going to be able to, supplement some of that scoring. And I think Dante DiVincenzo is going to give them a good punch off the bench if he's not starting. Had a really good season for the Knicks last season. But, yeah, the Knicks won the trade. They're going to be relevant for the next 4 years. I don't see the Timberwolves getting back to the Western Conference Finals next year. And, we'll see what happens going forward. What do you guys think?
You think Naz Reid will start?
Naz Reid's going to be a 6th man because I think we were discussing earlier that Julius Randle should probably take his spot. I think
he'll be the 4.
Yeah, I think Naz Reid coming off the bench just make the most sense. You just brought in Julius Randle. You definitely don't want him coming off the bench, so I think he'll start in his position. So what do you guys?
Okay. We got our resident Knicks fan here. What you think this does for your team? Does this make a difference?
Yes, here's the motherfucking deal from a real motherfucking Knicks fan. All right, so at first I saw the trade. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? We just traded Julius Randle. The guy, if it wasn't for Julius Randle, the Knicks would not be relevant right now at all. Let's keep it a buck. Jalen Brunson wouldn't be wanting to come over here if it wasn't for Julius Randle.
Okay.
So I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Where's the loyalty? How we gonna do that? So initially, I'm pissed off. And I already don't like Karl-Anthony Towns. He has a history for being soft. I don't like that. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's mentally tough. He has shown that in the past. I don't like that. And I did not want that for this Knicks team. This trade has been rumored for a while now. And I did not want that. So when I heard that, I was pissed off. We got rid of DiVincenzo. This guy just broke the record for the most threes in Knicks history.
They fucked up the Nova boys.
I'm pissed off. Gave it a couple days. I think about it for a little bit. And I'm like, all right. Well, Karl-Anthony Towns isn't, it's not like he's a bad player.
All-star last
He's
season.
an all-star, and he's a big reason why his team made it to the Western Conference Finals. He's a big reason why they were able to knock off the defending champions in the Nuggets and Nikola Jokic.
He's low-key the best big man shooting big man.
That is a very fair argument.
He averaged like 39% last season. I think he's a 40% shooter from the three.
Yeah, he's a very good shooter from the three line. So, it definitely opens up the Knicks offense. There's definitely potential there. My concern now with the Knicks is the bench. I don't believe that the bench is that deep now that you got rid of DiVincenzo.
I mean,
you
got Cameron Paynes.
We have Cameron
Mitchell Robinson.
Mitchell Robinson, when he gets
Jericho
healthy,
Sims.
he's probably going to start when he does, but we'll see.
Over who?
We'll see what Thibodeau does. That's another thing we can
He's not going to start.
Okay, that's arguable, but
I think
you can still.
Arguable.
I think the only way he'll start is if you move Josh Hart to the bench, and then
there's no argument.
But you'll go Brunson. You'll go Brunson, Bridges, OG.
You can still use Karl-Anthony Towns at the 4. He has been used at the 4 with Rudy Gobert, who's an even bigger center than Mitchell Robinson. So there's no reason why you wouldn't possibly consider having Towns next to Mitchell Robinson at least some of the time, even if you don't start it. So that's why I say it's debatable. Now, so also what I was saying with the Knicks, you get rid of DiVincenzo. I'm not sure if it was confirmed.
Who's enough shooting for us now? Well, us, like I'm a Knicks fan, but
yeah, I'm not sure if it was confirmed that DiVincenzo actually said that he doesn't want to come off the bench. I feel like he would have at least did it for a championship shot with the Knicks, but not everyone wants to reduce the time that they was playing. And he played a lot.
He literally helped carry the Knicks.
He definitely was a very big part of the team, and without him, they probably don't get as far. So, yeah, again, my concern with the Knicks now is the bench. Do you have enough to get by teams like Philadelphia and the Celtics who have deep benches?
I do think that both teams didn't make a great decision. I think both teams are gonna lack and
in what?
I think, let's say
defensively, offensively.
I think both. Let's say DiVincenzo, he was a quick bucket. When the Knicks was down, he would give them quick buckets all the time.
Because he's a 3-point shooter.
He's a 3-point shooter, and they're losing that. I think.
I mean, they
you don't necessarily lose it because if you think about
it, a good 3-point shooter.
Well, yes, Karl-Anthony Towns is a 3-point shooter, but who replaces DiVincenzo in the lineup now is Mikal Bridges. He's also a way better defender, and he can knock down some threes. So I don't look at it as a downgrade. Again, it's just the bench.
But they needed him off the bench, though.
Yeah, I agree with that. DiVincenzo off the bench is like a very big part of your team, and that makes your team very stronger. So without him, the bench is concerning again, in my opinion.
I do think the Timberwolves did have something going, and they drafted Towns, and I don't know. I think they had something building, and especially with the 1 and 2 with Anthony Edwards and Towns, it's definitely gonna be an adjustment. And
we don't think Bridges' new jump shot is gonna affect it in any way.
I did see the clip of the new jumper. I trust it. At the end of the day, he's always been a fairly good shooter throughout his career. So
but changing your jump shot after
yeah, I mean, we've seen
25 years of playing like that.
We've seen players make adjustments to their jump shot, and if they're making adjustments to their jump shot, it's usually for the better. And if he's not doing good with it, he can always go back to it. I'm not concerned if he's changing his jump shot. It's obviously for a good reason. He feels like it's gonna help him, so I don't think it's gonna affect his shooting. I'm not concerned with his jump shot being worse than it was last year. If anything, he's probably just making an adjustment to be better.
Yeah, like maybe a quicker release.
Yeah, whatever it is, I'm not concerned about that.
So why do you think the Timberwolves didn't get better?
I mean, Randall was coming off an injury. He's not. I don't think even though he could be healthy, I don't think you're not really healthy until you play and get at least a full year in.
I'm confused. Who do you think won the trade then? You think
both teams lost?
I think both teams lost.
So
I don't think the trade made sense. Too much sense at all.
So I know from a Minnesota perspective that Minnesota had to make the trade for money. I know a lot of us talked about that, right? Yeah. They paying Anthony Edwards a ridiculous amount of money. They're paying Cat a ridiculous amount of money, and they just traded Rudy Gobert, who's doing exactly what they need him to do, playing defense and winning.
Yeah, you pay all three of those guys.
You know what I mean? So I mean, you paying all the three guys in excess of $200 million. Mm-hmm. So I feel like if the Minnesota Timberwolves had it their way.
They gotta sign Julius Randle now.
I mean,
he was coming
Julius,
up for an extension as well.
I mean, he was coming up for an extension, but you got to imagine that whatever extension he's going to be up for is going to be sizably less than whatever the 200 plus million that Towns had on the books, right? So, and it makes sense. I mean, they can get, Julius Randle can get included in a signing trade if they don't agree to term. They have a lot of flexibility now going forward, whereas in terms of Karl-Anthony Towns, I mean, there's not a lot of flexibility when you got 200 plus million, on your books. It's like, what can you really do with that? He has at least 3 to 4 years on his contract. So, I mean, from that aspect, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I feel like Minnesota had to make the trade. You know what I mean? Just from a money perspective, from a business perspective.
It's a small market. They definitely can't afford
right.
money that.
When you look at what they got back in return as well, I mean, Julius Randle, like you said, made the Knicks relevant. I think he's going to fit in seamlessly right next to Anthony Edwards. He's not going to be expected to do as much. You know what I mean? So that should allow him to just.
But he wasn't expected to do much in the Knicks either because Jalen Brunson kind of took that shit.
I mean, we got to remember who Julius Randle was prior to his injury, right? Because he was still expected to be Julius Randle, getting the touches, shooting the ball, scoring the ball, being a bully, like being playing defense. Stopper. I mean, he was being a ball stopper, which is definitely the reason why I feel like the Knicks decided to get off of him. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of reasons why I feel like the Knicks decided to get off of him, but he definitely was a ball stopper. I mean, you're looking at Karl-Anthony Towns who can shoot plus 40% from the rim, from three, every single year. Karl-Anthony Towns is just more of a versatile piece. I mean, you're talking about Karl-Anthony Towns and Julius Randle. Like, no disrespect to Julius Randle, but we're talking about apples and oranges. You know what I mean?
Are we really?
100%. I mean, you're looking about.
agree with that.
Let's just stack up their resumes if you want to do that, and then secondly, if you want to, who was.
We can stack up their resumes.
I mean, so Julius Randle was who when he came into the Lakers? He was nothing. Let's just be honest. He was, Kobe Bryant had to tell him to work on his broken ass jump shot.
It took him a few years to get to where he is now.
Got drafted and was told to be the guy.
That's fine.
Karl-Anthony Towns was told to be the guy as soon as he got into Minnesota.
Totally understandable. However, when we talk about right now, it's fine. Julius Randle did take a while to become the player that he is. However, when we talk about right now, I feel like the two guys are very comparable in the right now in the.
I feel like if you surveyed all 30 GMs,
who brings more?
Well, I feel like you that's arguable. So I was gonna also say Towns. I think the trade makes a lot of sense for the Knicks in terms of opening up their offense because now you don't have a center who's just always in the paint. You have a center who could knock down shots from the outside and
it's the floor.
Yeah, and the Celtics have shown that that's really required in today's NBA, and so have the Nuggets with Jokic. So I think it makes sense from the Knicks offense.
Embiid as well.
Embiid as well. However, I did just forget the point that we was just.
I mean, we're talking about if they're comparable or not. I mean, they're not comparable talents. You got to be honest.
I think that Julius Randle is a very underrated player. I think again he's bringing the Knicks back to relevancy.
No one's knocking him. You know what I'm saying? We're just talking about.
I think he's an all-star player. I think he's a better passer than Karl-Anthony Towns. I think he's a better rebounder than Karl-Anthony Towns. I don't think Karl-Anthony Towns is like a number one option. Julius Randle has shown that he could be a number one option in the
Karl-Anthony Towns was a number one option when he came in.
But they never made any playoff teams with him as a number one option.
I mean, Jimmy Butler, when Jimmy Butler came there, they went ahead and they made the playoffs.
And Jimmy Butler wanted to get away from him.
He just came off a Western Conference Finals, what the Knicks have not done, and why the Knicks couldn't do it.
But that was my point. My point is he did that with Anthony Edwards. He wasn't doing that alone. Julius Randle made the playoffs alone without Jalen Brunson before. So let's not act like Julius Randle is like a trash player compared to Anthony Towns.
I mean, I don't think he's trash. It's different skill sets, but I mean,
it is different skill sets. However, I don't think they're that. I don't think it's apples to oranges. Is my point. I think they're very comparable. I think they're both all-star players, and I think that they're damn near the same. It's just Karl-Anthony Towns is just a little bit taller.
You don't think Towns brings more?
I think Towns does bring more to your team because he's more versatile than Julius Randle. You could definitely say that. He's able to move to the 4 and 5, and you're not too concerned with height or defense as much as when you put Julius at the 5. Now you feel like your team is a little smaller. So in that sense, Towns can be seen as bringing more to your team. I just don't think it's apples to oranges like Sean is saying, in my opinion.
Sure. What about from a Minnesota perspective? I mean, I feel like we're talking a lot from the Knicks perspective. What about from a Minnesota perspective? Do they get better? Are they going back to the Western Conference Finals?
Yeah, I don't think they get back to the Western Conference Finals. I think that Towns was they build up a lot of chemistry with Towns and Edwards.
Right.
And now it's going to be a little different with Julius. Maybe if they could get the chemistry right, it could be cool. But honestly, from watching Julius with the Knicks, he can be a selfish player at times. Right. And Anthony Edwards is alpha male. He wants to have the ball, so Julius might not.
But they gave Anthony Edwards a team. That is his team.
That is definitely his team. I'm pretty sure Julius understands that. However, Julius has shown in the past that his ego could get in the way sometimes on the court. And we'll see how that chemistry goes in Minnesota. Do I think they have enough to get by teams like the Nuggets and OKC? It's yet to be seen, but they're definitely in the conversation. It's yet to be seen. Let's give them a shot.
I think they still need some. They definitely gonna need some experience, need to play.
I mean, they gained that experience last season, making the playoffs, going all the way to.
But like you said, they just traded one of their guys that have been there for so long.
But I feel like with Karl-Anthony Towns, it's kind of like he was playing out of his position. He was a center. They tried to make the Rudy Gobert Karl-Anthony Towns thing work, so they had to force both of them to like play together. And I'm pretty sure there was times where like they had to sit one and play the other one because like depending on whatever the game plan needed, like if they needed more rebounding defense, they keep in town. Like I mean, keeping Gobert if they needed more shooting and like still rebounding, they keep Towns out there. So now Randall plays his natural position and Towns plays his natural position. Like Julius Randle's not gonna play the center position at all.
Yeah, that's
they
what's
got Rudy
debatable
Gobert.
for me. Is Towns really a natural position 4 or 5? I feel like I like
5.
Towns at the 4. He
Because
could
he
bring
could
a lot
shoot
at the
more.
4.
I think because he could shoot more, but he's
But
still a 7-footer.
Defense,
Like,
my thing with Towns is defensively at the 5. I don't think that's really a scary center.
I mean, he got long ass arms.
He does have long arms, but he's not much of a shot blocker. There's a reason why Minnesota bring in Rudy Gobert to the
To play
Minnesota
defense,
Timberwolves.
yeah.
Because Towns is not much of a shot blocker, and exactly that's my concern.
Who's gonna
Dude,
cook him?
Embiid.
it does again.
He's gonna
Mitchell
cook him.
Robinson.
Nobody can stop him.
We can't rely on Mitchell Robinson to stay healthy. So with that being said, you have to pretty much rely on Towns guarding guys like Embiid and Jokic. And I don't think that he has the mental toughness or the ability to guard these guys on a consistent basis. So it's just a matter of, do you feel like Towns is enough at the 5, you know? And it's good that you have Mitchell Robinson for the defense, but again, you can't rely on him to stay healthy. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Knicks go about this moving forward. Do you make a trade at the deadline? It's going to be very interesting.
So I think the Knicks got better. Timberwolves, I think, is more to be seen. I really can't tell how it's going to work out. Julius Randle was always looked at as a ball stopper. I don't know. Anthony Edwards needs the ball in his hand. He's the one that's going to make the decision. So I don't know if that's really going to work out. We got to see if Julius Randle can fall behind and fall in line. You think the Knicks got better?
It's yet to be seen for me. I don't feel like they got better or worse yet. I have to see
What
them
about
play.
the Timberwolves?
I feel like on paper it's basically the same. It's just an adjustment that they have to make. If anything, the bench got weaker. For the Timberwolves,
I mean, they got
pretty
DiVincenzo
much
on the
the
bench
same.
now.
I feel like the Timberwolves improved because, again, for me, I feel like skill
Oh, you're
set.
saying the Knicks had to work, but they lost in the bench.
No, yeah, I feel like the
Okay.
Knicks lost in their bench, but however, the starting lineup can arguably be seen as better. It's yet to be seen for me. They're gonna have to prove that to me. I think on paper the Timberwolves got a little better because again, I don't think Towns and Julius are that different in terms of skill wise.
Mhm.
I think they're pretty much on the same talent level. But if anything, Dante DiVincenzo is a big piece for them. He's gonna get a lot of open shots and he's gonna play good defense for them. So I think they improve a little bit.
Knicks, Timberwolves, did they both get better?
I can't keep letting you get off that they like similar talent wise.
I
It's
don't.
blasphemous. This is blasphemous.
So you
This is
think
blasphemous,
Karl-Anthony
brother.
Towns is a way better player than Julius Randle?
Let me ask this question to these two guys real quick. You know your position.
If-
If and I might know what, and I ask you this question last. I want you to answer this question last. If you surveyed 30 GMs, take Julius Randle, take Karl-Anthony Towns to start your franchise. How many GMs out of the 30 teams? Give me a number. Just 30, 21, 25. How many GMs are taking Karl-Anthony Towns?
GMs think differently from me. If I was a GM, I'm taking Julius
Well,
Randle.
how many do you think? Okay, but how many GMs do you think in the NBA are gonna take and like also
I
agree with
think
your
most
decision?
will take Towns.
You think-
I think most will take Towns.
I think-
Okay,
I think
so-
we're taking Towns over.
So that can't be for no. Okay, and you think most will take a Karl-Anthony Towns? That can't be for no reason, right? We all of a similar mindset because Karl-Anthony Towns is just a supreme talent.
It's
That
just
doesn't. When we say Karl-Anthony Towns is a supreme talent, that's like when Stephen A. Smith says putting LeBron second. People act like as if that's disrespectful to Michael Jordan. Listen, we're not saying that Julius Randle's not that guy. We're just saying that compared to Karl-Anthony Towns, listen, he's a clear below him. Like it's clear.
I
Like
don't
it's
think
not
it's
that they
clear.
battling for first.
because people will say that it's not clear with LeBron and Jordan. So I don't think it's definitely clear. It's always a debate.
I mean, that's gonna be a biased question. That's what it's gonna fall into at the end of the day. But if you look at Jordan's resume at the end of the day, it shouldn't like.
That's
stack
a
up.
whole nother
Yeah, that's a
conversation that
conversation
people
we
like
like.
to
Right,
argue.
right,
So
We're not here for the GOAT conversation, guys. We're here for Isaiah. Let's just close this out. Let's close out this conversation. Knicks, Timberwolves. You think did they get better or worse?
I'm gonna stay neutral for both because I feel like the Knicks made that trade and they're losing a lot, and I think with Minnesota Timberwolves, they're losing a lot also. In the sense of they're gonna need, if Towns plays a 4 or 5, that's gonna be a little tricky. And in terms of in terms of Minnesota, they built off of Towns, so they lost them.
I mean, they
And
built off of Towns until Anthony Edwards came into town.
Bro, I'm telling you, Randall's not even. I don't think he's fully healthy until you fucking play 6 months.
All right.
I ain't mad at that.
So I think we kind of have different point of views here. You know, some of us think the Knicks got better. Some of us think they
Comment what you think about the trade.
Facts. That's a good point. So we're gonna give a little brief spotlight to Bronny James Jr., the best rookie to ever touch the earth, because his father is the best player to ever touch the earth behind Jordan. But he just had his preseason game. He played a couple minutes.
Scored 2 buckets, 1 bucket, 2 points.
He did, though, record 3 blocks, and that's the first rookie since Dwayne Wade to get 3 blocks in a preseason game.
Put
guys.
some
It doesn't
respect
matter.
Stat.
It doesn't matter.
I think he's gonna be a defensive guard, man. Like,
I think we were having this conversation earlier, and I just want to share this opinion with all of you. I don't think Bronny is gonna have a better career than Cameron Payne. You know what I mean? Cameron Payne was a big piece of the reason why the Phoenix Suns went to the finals. And the big reason why is because he can play make, which is something Bronny can't do because he's not a point guard.
you got a little pass in the game.
I mean, everyone has to have a little pass in the game, right? I mean, I would hope so. And then, like, playmaking is one thing, but then just playing out, like, the ability to shoot the ball, like, it's clearly not there for him. Like, hopefully he develops, but, like, in the short term, like, give me Cameron Payne over Bronny James, like, right now. He helps the Lakers win.
I could feel that in the short term. From my perspective, my opinion on it is Bronny's really young right now. So it's like you have to give
19, 20?
him. Yeah, he's not even 21. So you have to give him a lot of time. He's gonna develop under his father. He's gonna be a professional for a couple years, and then maybe in a few years we see what he ends up blossoming into. Cameron Payne came into the league as a very older player. He came from the G League. He was already a professional at other places, and then he came to the NBA, something like that. So it's kind of different when you compare the two. I think, Bronny's just a work in progress, you know?
I do think he has the potential. If he's better than Payne, probably, yeah. I mean, he's not better than Payne now, but I think he definitely has the potential to be. I can see the role that you say Payne has, but I can't really agree with that.
Payne has played a big role on those Suns teams.
Big role.
Is yet to see if Bronny will
He
do that,
definitely
but
The dancer?
made value in himself.
The guy who danced?
Cameron Payne.
Yeah.
He danced with Russ.
He
That's
danced
what he's alluding
with
to.
Russ.
when he was on OKC.
Yeah, I forgot about that. But
Yeah, he was a big dancer.
We'll see. I mean, Bronny definitely Bronny said himself he looks up to guys like Davion Mitchell, so he's looking to be a more defensive type of guard.
He has to say that.
Play a
because his
different
jump shot
type
is
of
broke.
role. Cameron Payne doesn't play good defense, so it's like, all right, we could compare the two. One guy plays good defense, bad offense. One guy plays good offense, bad defense. So it's like, it depends on what you need at that moment, you know? And again, Bronny's young, so let's see what happens.
He got some time.
So, that's just a little brief spotlight. We got our new guest here. He might come around more often. But on our first episode, we spoke about, like, who the top 4 in the West is and who the top 4 in the East is. So we kind of want to hear what your opinions and your outlook is for this season.
MVP, I got LeBron. LeBron's going to be winning his MVP.
I said top 4 in the East and West, sir.
My bad. I just...
We talking about episode 2 topic. We're not there yet. We're not
My
there.
bad,
Just
my
give us
bad.
a quick top 4 East.
Top
West.
4 in the East. All right. Knicks, Celtics,
Okay.
76ers, Bucks.
That's not in any order, or that is in order?
In order, that's not in any order, but if I had to give you an order, we got Knicks 1, Celtics 2, Bucks 3rd, Sixers 4th.
Oh my God, that's a crazy ass.
Wait, let me say that again.
So we got the Knicks. They're going to have the best record in the NBA, actually.
Who's the best team? We were never talking about records.
You said top 4.
But who's the best team? Like,
That's
we talking
kind
about,
of
That'll
the
be the
same
best
thing.
team.
no, but we talking about like who you think is gonna be like the best team out of the East.
The best team out of the East is going to be the Knicks.
Okay.
Okay.
What's the number
So who's
2?
number 2?
That's going to be the Celtics.
And then number 3,
It's going to be the Bucks.
and then
The Sixers.
Okay, so question: why do you think the Bucks over the Sixers?
Paul George is just,
playoff P.
he's going to disappear throughout the season. You could guarantee that. You know what I mean? Like, throughout the season, you could guarantee that he'll have a stretch where he's averaging 24, and then there'll be a stretch where he's averaging 15, 16,
I
17.
mean, regular
you know what I
season
mean?
don't matter though. But he is a choke artist.
I mean,
in
we're
the
talking about
playoffs.
placing.
Okay,
I mean, in the
okay.
playoffs,
But he
talking
can
about
do that with the
placing.
team he got
I mean,
now.
I think
Like,
more.
I mean,
Okay. I mean,
he can afford to do that, but
he's
it's,
not as valuable as.
I just think people are overhyping the 76ers. Like I have them as 4, granted, you know what I mean? So like I'm buying into the hype a little bit, but like the Bucks are gonna take that leap. I mean, they got a full season of Damian Lillard and Giannis under the belt. They actually got rid of Adrian Griffin, right? So like they'll have a full season now with a new head
with
coach.
Doc Rivers.
Listen now, so I think it's gonna.
That's hilarious.
They'll have better luck, is all I'm saying. So I think I got Knicks definitely taking it though.
They're gonna be the number 1 seed.
Number 1 seed. They got the best record in basketball.
Okay. So now, they're the best team in terms of record wise. Who you project to be the one to make it to the finals out of the East?
From the East,
In a 7-game series, making it through round
In the
1,
East.
2, 3. Yes, in the East.
I got the Knicks.
Okay.
Knicks went healthy. We're gonna make the finals last year, I think. Anyway, people just forget that. You know what I'm saying? We were like injured, like ridiculously injured. We would have beat Indiana like in a sweep. You know what I'm saying? If we would have had a lot of players healthy.
Yeah.
So go to the next round. I think we could have beat that next round too. And just who we had
Next
last
round would have
year.
been the Celtics.
And the Celtics, I'm telling you, like even then, if we would have had a healthy Julius Randle, healthy Mitch Robinson, healthy Jalen Brunson. Like I'm telling you, if we would have had a healthy everyone, we would have still put up a fight. We could have won that game in 6. I would have won to 7 easily. You know what I'm saying? So we're not that far off from the finals.
So I mean, you guys can compare that to our first episode, see his list, our list, and then you give us your list, and we can, have a conversation about it in the comment. Top 4 in the West.
Top 4 in the West, right? So I got the Lakers are going to be the number 1 seed, right? Listen, under JJ Redick, they're going to win. People forget the Lakers were dominating before the injuries. Like we were like a top 3 seed. All of our bench pieces, right? We never had Gabe Vincent.
Weed for the Knicks and Lakers, sir.
I'm a native New Yorker, but I also am a transplant to Los Angeles. I lived in Los Angeles for about like 20 years now. Like I was born and raised in New York.
He's visiting us right now.
Exactly. So like these are my lifelong friends, but majority of my life was in Los Angeles, right? So I got to see all the players going up, Kobe, RIP, right? So I think
I'm a LeBron fan. I definitely don't even got them in the top 4. They're not.
they're easily a top 4 seed. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
If you go after that, Minnesota, top 6. They're actually not even in my top 4. I think they're gonna take a dramatic step off. Clippers. So we're gonna have the Lakers. This is in no order right now, but I got the Lakers. I have Denver. I have
OKC, Dallas.
Dallas is definitely gonna be in there.
So you got one more spot, and you got Phoenix, Sacramento.
Sacramento's actually gonna make top 4 seed with the inclusion of DeMar DeRozan. I think they're gonna be a great. I can't rely on the Warriors. I'm not gonna rely on the Clippers. I'm not gonna rely on the Pelicans. I got Sacramento taking that 4th spot. And
so the Suns and the Timberwolves is on your outside, basically.
This is gonna be the last season that Kevin Durant actually plays for the Suns because they're not gonna go anywhere. Right, so Kevin Durant is going to be a free agent.
God.
I mean, not a free agent, but he's going to get traded after the season. I know that's your favorite player. I don't know for what reason. But he's not going to.
Why, nigga?
I mean, for what? Because he's weak. And you like
because he
niggas.
scored buckets.
Okay. He
Score
buckets.
That's a good conversation.
You know?
to have one
Does he score buckets?
He's not the best. One of the best scorers.
How you couldn't take Brooklyn?
He's not one of the best
He
scorers.
couldn't take
I
Brooklyn?
don't care about that.
Listen.
Is he not one of the best scorers?
You want to know what's crazy is if you ask people who's a better like overall scorer between Carmelo Anthony and Kevin Durant, a lot of people are gonna say Carmelo Anthony because he can do more.
New York niggas. You only been in New York. Only New York niggas is gonna say that.
I disagree. Man, listen, ask everybody. Like Steven Jackson, who I got his number. You know what I'm saying? You can call him right now. He'll tell you himself. Carmelo Anthony, 9 times out of 9. There's only 7 days in a week, but you're still gonna take him out of 9.
Okay,
I can disagree with that.
So, I mean, these are conversations we're gonna have later down the season. We need some topics to spread around. But basically, you got the Lakers,
the
Kings, the Knicks.
The Lakers, the Kings. I got
the
Dallas
and Dallas
correct.
as your top 4
and
in
then
the West.
we'll be having the Lakers, New York, and Knicks finals. So I'll see you guys in LA.
Oh
Crypto,
my God.
Very confident in the Lakers.
That's crazy.
Listen, man.
All right, guys. Well, I mean, again, compare that to our list. Give us your list. Comment in the comment section. And, we can have a discussion there. And just to close out the conversation, we gave our MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, 6th Man, and what else? Most Improved? Did I say that?
I believe so.
Okay. I don't know if you said Most Improved.
Defensive Player of the Year? But give
Defensive
your
Player of
award
the Year.
prediction.
Also, this year they're actually going to give it to Anthony Davis. He's actually going to lead, the Lakers to the finals via that Defensive Player of the Year award.
No way
Rookie
doesn't win it.
Rookie of the Year is actually going to go to Dalton Connect. He's playing for the Lakers. I
Oh
mean,
my
if you look
God.
at the first top 3 people in the NBA draft, are relevant nobodies, right? So I got Dalton Connect easily like surpassing them.
So who's the most improved?
Uh,
D'Angelo Russell?
no, most improved is easily gonna go to
Austin Reeves? Rui Hachimura?
You know what? Rui Hachimura could take a big leap next
He
season.
said
So I think
easily.
I think Rui
He can
Hachimura
average
can
20.
average 20,
Yep.
28 and 6. I think taking
Easily.
like
28 is crazy.
jumping into that, under JJ Redick. You gotta remember who JJ Redick's gonna bring it to the team. You know what I mean?
Okay.
most
It
of
just
the-
makes everybody
Guys,
get
teach
10
everyone how to shoot.
10 more
Everyone-
points in average.
Hey, man.
JJ Redick just brings 10 more points to every person.
Yo, you see this?
average.
Look,
Usually.
cut purple and gold right there. You see that
I
purple and
believe
gold?
purple and gold, bro.
Sheesh, man.
I go to sleep, I think about LeBron. Wake up, think about LeBron.
That's crazy.
Pause.
No pause.
No
that.
pause is crazy.
Play that. And then
All
what
right.
other
MVP.
MVP? LeBron.
Okay. So
Wow.
defensive player of the year, AD. LeBron MVP. Rookie of the year then? Oh, you said Dalton Connect.
Rookie of the year, yeah, Dalton Connect.
No, Bronny?
Bronny's gonna be the runner-up. I don't know why you're laughing. Nah, he gonna be the runner-up.
So
Six,
Bronny-
who's six man? Who's
So
six
you
man?
love
Davis?
everything about the Lakers except Bronny's just fucking trash.
Bronny's a bum. Like, let's just be honest with him. If
Okay,
his
I just
name-
wanted
if
that
his last
understanding
name
for the
didn't have James behind it, and his father wasn't LeBron, you see him at 7-Eleven asking if you want the cheese or the pepperoni pizza.
He made money in college. He definitely signed NIL.
NIL, he would have lost it really quickly gambling because that's like a trend in that community. I won't say what community, but that's a trend in that community.
Yeah, I think it's
So-
about time to
All
wrap
right,
it up.
man. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Brooklyn Bros podcast. We had our special guest Sean,
Thank
executive producer, stepping in front of the camera
Thank you.
for the first time ever. As you can clearly see, he's biased towards the Lakers. He thinks the Lakers are the best team to ever touch the earth. So, got my boy Dario, got my boy Isaiah, got Sean, got me, Anthony.
D-Row, you already know.
Sorry. Like, comment, subscribe, and tune in next week.
My son said the whole government.
Peace.